Hey guys, this is Leonard 95 with another book that I just finished to read. It was 11/22/63 of Stephen King. And all of you know, guys, I always took my notes. So let's talk about something about this book, right? So Jeff Epkins is an English professor who works at night with adult people. One night he asked to do an essay which changes the life to all of his students. Harry, who is a student, have a fatal history because in 1916 Halloween, his father killed his family and he escaped. All then, after to get Harry the best notes, he went to the a deli to eat something, and Al, who is the owner of the restaurant, received him, and he talked about something about the things. However, while Jake was eating, his wife arrived with the paper divorce, and Al escaped to nowhere. So he just went up in the kitchen where he has the rabbit hole, which is a machine of time, and this machine of time took to 1960. Then, when the wife of the Jake's leaves, left the place, he explained all these things happening about his machines and the actions he has to take because he has to avoid the murder of John F. Kennedy because he all current. He says, Jake, I'm not interested. So Al wasn't happy at all. So say you have to come the next day, and then the next day he explained everything about the murder of John F. Kennedy. When he decided to help Al, he went to the home and he found Al died because he traveled so much in the time. So seeing these situations, Jake decided to fulfill the dream of Al to travel to the time and avoid the murder of John F. Kennedy. He took some notes to win money in the past because many students by Al will help will help him to follow the situation. However, in the past, he was becoming too closer with so much important people nearby by John F. Kennedy and the CIA and many departments investigating who is Jake. However, he escaped and escaping from the home. However, one thing he had to do was to avoid the murder of the Harry, which is in the same years, because the machine took to 1960 and he has to avoid the murder of John F. Kennedy in 1963, which means he has to 3 years to plan everything. After that, he met Frank and Bill, who are with the bartender. Bill is the bartender, and he meets the Frank, who is the killer of the who is the father of Harry, and he knows these people. He was so angry, drinking, and of course his reputation was so bad. And immediately Jake was planning to give tickets to a Halloween party, and then Frank um kicked his wife and talking and disrespected all his family, and he said, okay, I have to do something. So he took Bill, asked, who are you? And said, Jake, well, don't have to know, but I'm coming from the past and I will have to save John F. Kennedy. However, um, a burner of his house had took a burner of the house of Jake has taken everything his notes, and when Bill arrived, Bill, who is the bartender, arrived, he found some paper notes about the murder of John F. Kennedy, and he said, "Well, I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to help you." So Jake and Bill started a good relation. and he will work to save the John F. Kennedy. However, after to kill Frank, which was the only way to save his family or Harry, they went to they went to Texas, where Lee will arrive in 3 years, and he installed cameras and everything in the room of Lee, which is in the future, right? So they have 3 years because Lee was still in Russia and didn't arrive yet at the United States. So all his room will be with cameras and microphones. So then when Lee arrives, many things happening, right? George is so interested in Lee. Another person as George, who is a investigator who worked for the John F. Kennedy, but also he has some ideas of how to change the United States, and he's not agree with the president. So he is interested in Lee to kill. Well, Lee becomes interviewed, and since he writes these characters, he has to face many things, right? So for one side, Jake is following Lee to everywhere, and another side, Lee has become followed by another by George, who is a member of the CIA, who also George is not agreeing with the John F. Kennedy ideas. So we have some shots there. Then Bill become angry with Jay because Bill was interested on Marina, who was the wife of Lee, and it was a surprise when Jake saw Bill kissing the wife of Lee hidden in a party. So he said, "You don't have to do that because you are going to alter the past. If Lee discover this, he will kill you, and of course all the plan will be devastated." So Bill says, "No, I'm I'm so in love with him," and then the relationship between Jake um, and Bill is broken. So the next day, Bill become a friend of Lee, who is planning to kill to the who is planning the assassination of John F. Kennedy from a library, and they become closer, and the idea of a second shooter become more realistic during these situations. However, Jake become in love with Sadie, who is the bookkeeper and the librarian, and who has many recognitions, and they create a connection, and the love started to grow to growing. So Jake and Sadie started a good relationship. However, one night decided Jake told the truth to Sadie, say, "I'm coming from the past, and my work is here is to avoid the killer of John F. Kennedy." Of course, um, Sadie didn't believe that until she saw a paper song with the news that say, "Okay, I'm going to help you." However, in an incident, Jake received a knockout, and he forget about everything his plan, and Sadie has to help him to remind him what was his work to avoid the John F. Kennedy murder. So Jake and Sadie started to following these people, to following Lee, and trying to avoid the murder of John F. Kennedy. And many situations happens after that. In the situation when Lee has had two shots, the first one he failed, and when he failed, that time was taken by Jake and Sadie, who who broken, right? Who broken the timeline, and they avoided the murder of the John F. Kennedy. When John F. Kennedy, the president, discovered that someone was trying to kill him, and the CIA has CIA has taken Jay to the prison. He say, okay, okay, you have to leave this man free because he helped me so much, and I am the president. I am the maximum authority. So Jay become free. However, in that situation, Sadie received an impact of the gunshot in the head and she dies. When he returned to the present, all the world was devastated, and he recognized Harry, who lived in an abandoned fabric, and he asked everything, and he said, John F. Kennedy wasn't good at all because after his mandate, the next president has a war, and the war it was devastated. So it was like in a war basically. So what Jake did is return to the past and leave all the things how it was before. But one thing, when he returned to the present and he googled the name of Sadie, the best librarian, and his wife in the past, he said in a meeting he invited to dance, and when Jake saw her eyes, she feels that he has a connection, but she didn't understand why. It was because in the past they was the best couple who avoided to kill John F. Kennedy, and the great connection was there. But no, as she didn't know, and she will never know. And that is how ends the history with Jake and Sadie dancing his best music of all times. So, I tried to summarize the best possible that I did. I, as all you knows, I don't like the edition, so you have to guide my voice. However, if you want to avoid to hear me, I recommended to read this book of Stephen King, 11/22/63, which is a great book, and you will be so interested. So, without further to do, let me know which is your best part about this book. I'll see you guys in the next book.